The fighter is a bro. No, actually that's not right. The fighter is your bro. He's down for whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. You want to be awesome with a big sword? Fighter's got you. You want to be a dual-wielding badass? Fighter's got you. You want to be stupidly good with whatever this is? Fighter's got you. Any martial-focused character you can dream up, the fighter can pretty much do. The fighter is absolutely one of the most flexible classes in Pathfinder, and opens up all kinds of amazing new possibilities. The class can allow you to take better advantage of your race choice, and if you want to hyper-focus on a particular aspect of combat, you can absolutely master it. I'm actually not going to give an opinion on optimized race choice for fighter, because I can't really think of a race that can't pull fighter off. Even the smallest, weakest, least martial races can still find something to do with this class. Likewise, your stats I'm not really going to give much of an opinion on because that's really going to depend on what you're trying to accomplish with your fighter. The only thing I will say is that you're probably going to be focusing more on your physical stats over your mental stats. But of course, the fighter can utilize those too. Now let's look at those all-important class features. First off, as you'd expect, fighters are proficient with all simple and martial weapons. They're proficient with all armor, and they're proficient with all shields, even tower shields. Alright, now we get to the meat of the class, the feats. A fighter is a blank canvas, and the feats are the paint. The fighter gets so many of them. Basically, as a fighter, you get a feat per level. And at first level, you get 2. One for being a level 1 character, and one for being a level 1 fighter. And if you're a human fighter, you get 3. Alright, so what are you going to do with all of these feats? You can do anything you want. You can take some of those feats that you wouldn't necessarily take, and they can still work for you. Don't be afraid to experiment. Take skill focus, which gives you a +3 to one of your skills, and a +6 once you've invested 10 skill ranks. Use it to better a profession, or a performance, or use magical device and surprise the hell out of the villain with your amazing wand use. Take fleet a couple of times, which adds 5 feet to your movement. Or become a master craftsman, and craft magical items without being a spellcaster. As a fighter, you've got the feats to do it, and not negatively impact your fighting style. There are also a bunch of really good fighter-specific feats. Things like greater weapon focus. The prereq for this feat is having weapon focus, and being an 8th level fighter. 8th level is actually the perfect time to get it, because it's on one of your even level bonus feats. Which do have to be combat feats, by the way. Greater weapon focus gives you a +1 to attack with that weapon, which stacks with weapon focus. There's weapon specialization, which gives you a +2 on damage rolls with one weapon, and greater weapon specialization, which gives you an additional +2 to damage with that weapon. You can get ridiculously high shield bonuses, with feats like greater shield focus, and you can make yourself an absolutely fantastic mage killer, with feats like disruptive and spellbreaker. Also, you have an opportunity to get into some of the interesting and esoteric racial feats. To give you an example, if you're playing a sylph, you can actually get the ability to fly by investing a few feats. Now, you do need to use your regular feats, not your fighter bonus feats, because these are not combat feats. At first level, your sylph needs to take Airy Step. This doesn't actually need to be at first level, just whenever you get around to it. And then at 9th character level, you can take the feat Wings of Air, which will allow you to fly. Aasimar can actually do something similar. Races like the Oread can get the ability to burrow with racial feats. And if you want to do something like the Kitsune, you can get all kinds of natural magical abilities. And that's all because of the huge number of bonus feats that the fighter gets. The next class feature that fighters get is bravery. This gives you bonuses against fear, obviously. Now on to weapon training. At 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th level, you get a +1 to attack and damage with one weapon family. An example of a weapon family would be Blades Heavy. This covers bastard swords, elven curved blades, great swords, etc. And as you get more weapon training, your bonus increases. So whatever class of weapon you've chosen to specialize in should be your first one, to make sure you get that bonus as high as possible. Now, if you have a DM who's willing to allow you access to a thing called the Weapon Master's Handbook, you can substitute your weapon training for some very interesting class features, such as Fighter's Finesse. This gives you weapon finesse with all of the weapons in that weapon family. So you can add your dexterity to hit with a greatsword. Somehow. Obviously, fighters have the best base attack bonus, so you're always going to have that extra edge on hitting an opponent. Fighters have D10 hit die, which isn't the biggest, but you will have a lot of health. And if you choose to have a high constitution score, tanking is absolutely a viable option. One of the weaknesses of the class are its saves. You only have good fort saves. Now don't get me wrong, that's a good thing to have. But beware of things which are going to hit you with reflex or will saves. Not that you can't be acceptable in those areas, but you won't ever really be great at them. Now finally, with Fighter, definitely look at your multi-classing options, because it's one of the best classes to multi-class with. Or Prestige class. One of the best Prestige class combinations is Fighter into Shadow Dancer. Because once you get your actual Shadow Companion, you can do strength damage, and that really increases your power to defeat enemies, pretty much no matter what they are, unless they're undead. Duelist is another really good one, just because you don't lose that much by going Fighter into Duelist. You can get great AC, and really excel at skirmish fighting. Thank you for watching this class analysis of the Fighter from D6 Damage. If you're interested in more class analysis and character build videos, check out D6 Damage right here on YouTube. Thank you for watching.